Hello all, I am doing another update video. I kind of want to backtrack on some things because I'm going to retitle this video Surviving Breast Cancer so it's easier for people to find on YouTube, and maybe I can help somebody going through some of the same things that I've been going through. So my name's Peggy. July 26th I was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer. ER/PR negative, which stands for estrogen receptor and progesterone receptor negative, which means the tumor is not fueled by hormones, and HER2 positive, which stands for human epidermal growth receptor. So I was looking at what does all that mean. So the more favorable outlook is to have the PR positive and HER2 negative, but I don't. That's switched. So because it's HER2 positive, we all have those proteins on our breast and stuff, but what happens is when it's HER2 positive, the gene mutates and kind of gets out of control, and it makes the tumor and the cancer more aggressive. So I was diagnosed on July 26th. August 13th was my first chemo treatment. I have 6 rounds of chemo once every 3 weeks. If you go back and watch my first video, I did not do well with the first round. They tweaked some meds, so I have an arsenal. After the third treatment, the second treatment wasn't too bad. The third treatment, which was September 24th, I had some issues with nausea because I forgot to take one of my nausea pills. So I have 3 different nausea medications. And for anybody out there that's wondering, should I take it, should I not take it, I have started taking my nausea medication the day after chemo, even if I'm nauseous or not, and continue to take it for like a whole week. If you are going through chemo, you'll hear people sometimes have bad days, whether it's day 3, day 5, or is a common one. My bad days are day 6 and 7. So, this round I've set reminders on my phone to take my Zofran and Compazine during the day, which is nausea medication, and my Zyprexa at night. There's other stuff that I have to take too, like heartburn and Claritin for bone pain, because I take this drug called Neulasta, which helps build up your bone marrow, but also gives you bone pains, like having shin splints all over your legs. But since I've been taking Claritin on a daily basis, that bone pain has dissipated and it's a little bit easier to handle. Sorry, I got my big old blanket in the way. I'm trying to make it nice and neat and pretty. The other side effects is, I'll just be blunt and honest, is diarrhea. I learned from one of the nurses it's from the Perjeta, which is part of the immunotherapy. So I take 4 drugs on chemo day. Taxotere and carboplantin are the chemo drugs. Herceptin and Perjeta are the immunotherapy drugs. So the Perjeta is responsible for the diarrhea. This last time it kind of got out of control, but Imodium is going to be your best friend, and talk to your nurse practitioner or your doctor, because you can actually take more than what the box says. The box says only 4 pills in 24 hours. Your nurse practitioner or doctor will tell you that you can take more of that too. So I'm being a little bit more brave too with my chemo hat on instead of my wig. It's just a little bit more comfortable. Here comes my dog. Oh, Timber, you want to come say hello? Come say hello to everybody. He doesn't like to be on camera much. Anyway, so I also, through a local organization, it's called Breast Cancer Foundation of the Ozarks. I'm here in Missouri. I had reached out to them at the very beginning. I wasn't going to, but my sister encouraged me to, and they set me up with a mentor who basically kind of had the same type of cancer, and it really, really helps to talk to someone who has been through it. Family and friends are always great support, but if you get yourself somebody that has been going through it, you can ask them all the questions, you can have a little bit more peace of mind, that's very, very helpful. Also, there are organizations, the same one that I got my mentor through, will help pay bills for you. I don't get sick time at work, and um, the week after chemo, sometimes I have to take 2 or 3 days off. So that's 2 or 3 days of lost income. I was real hesitant at first to ask for any financial help because I'm just kind of not that person. But I mean, this is a really tough time in your life. It's not going to be for forever. So they help with utilities. They can help with your mortgage, your car payment, your car insurance. It just kind of is what you need. And a lot of times it doesn't really matter how much money that you make. The organization here has a cap of $5,000. Once you reach that limit, they're kind of basically out of funds for you. But it's not only when you're going through chemo, it's if you're going through chemo, surgery, radiation, whatnot. So my next thing is, so I have 2 more treatments left. I just had my 4th one today, so I'm super excited. My last treatment is the day after Thanksgiving. And then in December, I have an MRI to see how much the tumor has shrunk, because it has shrunk already. And then I meet with the general surgeon and we talk about lumpectomy and radiation versus a mastectomy. Now, I had my plastic surgeon consult just Wednesday, today's Friday, and I was kind of a little frustrated when I left because I felt like they were pushing more towards a mastectomy and kind of poo-pooing the lumpectomy and radiation. So if anybody has had this decision to make and has made it, maybe leave a comment and let me know if you decided a lumpectomy, because that's kind of where I'm leaning to. Again, I meet with the general surgeon. He's going to answer my questions, and it all comes down to what he's going to recommend. But if, I just want more information about a lumpectomy, and if you felt like it was the right choice for you. The downside is you do have to do radiation 5 days a week for like 6 to 7 weeks, which is a lot of radiation. But the mastectomy, it's not only 1 surgery, it's 2 surgeries, longer recovery time, more invasive surgery, possibility of having to replace implants in 10 to 15 years, all kinds of stuff. Just, it's really a lot. It's heavy. So, yeah. The other thing, some tips I'm finding out, if anybody is curious, those who are going through chemo know that your taste buds kind of go south after chemo for a week or a few days, maybe a week and a half. I think it's different for everybody. Water is the one thing that tastes absolutely disgusting to me. It tastes like I'm drinking metal. So what I found is I've gotten a hard butterscotch candy and put it in my water, and that helps. And don't use metal containers. Try to go for plastic and plastic silverware. My sister gave me some lemon drops. I've done that before, lemon drops in my water, and that also is supposed to help with your taste buds, but I'm not a big lemon fan. But I do that. The other thing is stock up, which I did this last time. I stocked up on Jello and pudding and soup and anything bland. If you're having issues with eating or kind of nausea, you need some bland food, that helps to stock up beforehand. The other thing is things that taste weird. When you're going through that part where your taste buds are just wonky and things taste like metal or cardboard, it sucks, and that's when I lose my most weight, because I just sometimes don't feel like eating and food tastes gross. So you got to find out. There are some things that are going to taste the same. For me, peanut butter and jelly, I ate that I think like 3 days in a row for lunch. My regular coffee didn't taste good, but I went and bought the Starbucks Frappuccino, the bottled ones, and those actually tasted really good. So that week after chemo, I was drinking those instead of my regular coffee. What else? I'm still not brave enough to take off my cap and show you all my bald head, but maybe I will be. I still have my eyebrows. Yay! Still have my eyelashes. Yay! Also, too, so even though chemo ends, like I said, I have another MRI, the consult with the doctor, then surgery probably in January. And then depending on what surgery, and if it's a lumpectomy, then I'll have radiation. And then I still have to do immunotherapy once every 3 weeks after chemo, and that has to go until next August. So you have to have the immunotherapy for a full year. So like I said, my first treatment was in August, 2 chemo drugs, 2 immunotherapy therapy dogs, my dog's right here, immunotherapy drugs, and he's bugging. He wants me to, Denver, say hi. He's like, get off the phone, Mom. Anyway, so yeah, I'll still have to do the immunotherapy once every 3 weeks. But the nurses told me it's shorter time than chemo, and hopefully less side effects. So yeah, so this whole thing isn't going to be like completely done and over with until next August. So yeah, I just wanted to update you and give you a little bit more information, and I hate this term, stay positive, but you got to stay positive and find your ways to get through it. Also, what I found out is I'm super, super emotional. Like, so I have my chemo treatments on Friday. Usually by Wednesday, Thursday, I'm super emotional, and I found out that's an effect from the steroids. So I take steroids Thursday, pills and twice a day. Friday they give it to me in my chemo with, in the IV, and then I take steroids twice a day on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So for 5 days I'm taking steroids. So by Wednesday I'm coming off of that, and I get super emotional, and the nurses said that's why, it was because the steroids. So that's a good thing, because there for a minute I thought I was losing it. Oh, and by the way, chemo brain, chemo fog is a real thing. So if you feel like the week after chemo, or even 2 weeks after chemo, you're trying to talk and you know what you want to say, but you can't get the words out, or like I just said, immunotherapy dog instead of immunotherapy drugs. It's a real thing. I've heard that it doesn't last, hopefully. Yeah, or I can just chalk it up to getting old. So yeah, the process sucks, especially when you find out. Like I said, I was diagnosed on July 26th, and that was 4 days before my birthday for me to turn 51. No history of cancer in my family at all, so that was a big shock, and it makes you feel pissed off and angry, and why me, and what did I do wrong? And the nurses are very good where I'm at, and, said you didn't do anything wrong, being a woman and being over 50. Yeah, so, but like I said, it's stage 2. The oncologist said it's very treatable, so I have to be thankful for that. But it is okay to have your days, to feel sorry for yourself, to be mad, to cry, but just don't wallow in it. And, on my bad days, I kind of struggle with that, but I try, if I'm like that half the day, then I try to think of something good, or try to, call a friend and cry and then get it out. So make sure that you always have that support system. And if you don't have, a supportive family, or you feel like your friends aren't being supportive, again, go to, a breast cancer foundation in your city, and they'll set you up with, a mentor or support group or something like that. So that's really, really important. I don't know how many of you out there are into prayer, but, I just feel like sometimes that's, I feel like if I put things in God's hand, that, I don't know, it just makes me feel a little bit more safer, and like, hey, I'm just going to give this to you, God, and you take control of it. For those of you that don't have that faith, that's okay. Like I said, just find your support and your system, like Breast Cancer Foundation in your city, or friends. And I have some really good coworkers too that keep me laughing. They have been my rocks. My coworkers help me get through the day. They're very supportive. They take over my class when I'm not there to teach. And humor is a really, really important tool to get through this shit show of treatment and a mess. So, yeah, humor's great. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to retitle this Surviving Breast Cancer so it's easier to find. I'm going to try to, I'm not a big online person or knowing how to navigate things, but I'm going to try to retitle my other earlier videos so people can find it easier. But if I can't figure out how to do that, it's called Survive and Thrive, or my first videos. So that's all I got for this Friday evening. Chemo days are always great because I feel awesome, and I feel awesome the next maybe 2 or 3 days. But I'm determined to stay positive for this coming week, armed with my nausea meds and a plan. And also, too, very important, don't feel guilty if you need to call into work. And that's a hard thing for me, and I'm trying to work through that with the help of my sister and coworkers telling me, hey, you got to be selfish and take care of you. So that's a true thing. I know it's like a cliche, but it's really true. Don't feel guilty if you have to take time off. Don't feel guilty if you just lay around all day on your bad days. And, you know, I mean, shoot, my bad days, I don't clean the house. I don't even take a shower. It's too exhausting. So take care of you, most important things. And, yeah, I'll update you guys on how this post-chemo round is going. Hopefully better than last. So fingers crossed. See y'all later.